Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips.
Hello everybody and welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. My name is Dr. Lesley Phillips and I'll be your host for the next hour with the studio producer, Corey. And
hello.
This show's all about metaphysics and spirituality and intuition, even the paranormal if you want it to be. And it's a talk show and it's a call-in show. And each week what we like to do is choose a different theme to talk about and give some information from our perspective on that topic and then open the phone lines for you to call in. Well, today I wasn't too sure what topic I was going to talk about, so
Can we do pizza?
If you can come up with a reason why pizza is a spiritual topic, then we can do pizza.
You obviously don't like pizza as much as I do.
Do you know what? We could make pizza. We could use pizza as a metaphor for talking about oneness.
Okay. It's a very round
Would you like me
subject.
to go further? Oneness, the pizza representing the great all that is, and the different ingredients within the pizza representing unique individuals that together make up the oneness.
And the cheese is just angelicness.
Oh, it's the interconnectedness of all things.
The sludge.
It's the interconnectedness of all things, I think. So, no, my topic wasn't actually going to be pizza. What I thought we could talk about is being. I pulled a card to give me inspiration from my card deck, and the one that I pulled is being. Another word for it might be stillness, and it's basically how you get to know God, how you get to know yourself. And first step on a spiritual journey, they used to have this written above the ancient temples, Spirit, know thyself. And what is meant by that is who you are beyond your ego, beyond your personality, the eternal consciousness that is you. And how do you access that eternal consciousness that is you? Meditation is a great way. And when you think about it, we're all so busy in our lives, aren't we, Corey? We're all so busy running around, big lists of things that we have to do, finishing off one, planning for the next one, and on it goes. And the mind gets so busy. The mind gets so busy. There's all of these thoughts running around. Concerns, worries, issues, what you're having for dinner, what things you have to achieve. Got an exam next week, prepping for the exam, or you've got a meeting to plan for, or something went wrong last week and you can't help but go over it in your mind. That monkey mind keeps you away from knowing yourself. That monkey mind isn't who you are. It's just a computer program going round in your brain in a loop. And the other thing that keeps people away from knowing themselves and being are just all of those triggers and emotions that go on in the body and in our lives as we interact with one another. So the theme is being. How do you enter a state of stillness where that busy mind is not going round and round in your head anymore, where you're at peace with the world and at peace with yourself, where you're not projecting into the future or into the past, where you're not projecting into fantasies of what this person thinks of you, or what that person thinks of you, or whatever else it is that you're worried about. How do you enter that state of stillness where you can access God, where you can access your inner being, your higher self, your soul? And this is, I guess it's what all the great spiritual masters know how to do. How to be in that state of stillness so that the earthly concerns are not dominating and overriding your consciousness, but so that it is you in union with the divine. So that's what I mean when I talk about being pure consciousness, being light, being in stillness, being in the now moment, because that's how you gain access to yourself. So, Corey, tell me, have you ever achieved a state of stillness and pure being?
Actually, yeah, I have several times. But I guess the best one, the best time I've ever had, or the most striking time I ever had, was when I was doing a 5-day meditation. And this was in a dyad meditation with a group of people out here in Vancouver. And it actually felt like my brain had been cut loose from my body at the neck, and all I was feeling is from the heart. It was an amazing feeling. And what happens then when you come out of that is very interesting. And it's sort of like when we came back from Honduras that time. You come back into the mainstream world. Like I was driving home in along the highway, and like I went to the guy that was driving and said, "Wow, check this out! Like all the cars are like spaced out equally along the road, driving at the same speed." Yeah, it's called traffic. But yeah, it was just so. It's almost, if I would have stayed there another five days or so doing the same meditation, the world would have been just a place that I would have not have recognized.
Yeah.
No.
Because we're so pulled into it, we're so taken up by it. Well, I mean, I have a practice that enables me to access stillness, and I've taught it many times on this show. And, the first principles of that, and these are meditation techniques, but they're also techniques that were taught in the ancient mystery schools many years ago, and they really do help you to access that place of stillness. And the first one is grounding, and the second one is centering. And I'll talk a little bit about both of them. Grounding, it helps you connect you, the high vibration spiritual consciousness, with your body. And the way that we do that is to create a flow of energy from near the base of the spine to the center of the earth. And then the centering, which is really fantastic for helping you step aside and apart from what we've been talking about this evening. Because if you can place your consciousness in the center of your head, what you're doing is you're separating yourself from the part of your brain that does that crazy thinking thing. So the logical part of the brain is in the frontal lobes. That's where we do our thinking, in the front part of our brain. And so try this. See if you can observe yourself and observe where your energy is when you are thinking, when you're thinking thoughts, or when you're worrying. And then focus your consciousness then into the center of your head and observe what that is then like. And what you will find is that you separate yourself from that monkey mind. You become the neutral observer of your thoughts. Here you are sitting in the center of your head, while the thoughts go floating by, and pretty soon it becomes very easy just to not have any thoughts, to enter that place of stillness where you have access to everything. You have access, like I said, to God, to yourself, to your soul. And of course, the other thing that this centering technique does is it puts you above your emotions, so that, again, you're the observer of your emotions as opposed to the being pulled into them. I sometimes think of emotions are often the symbol of water is often used to symbolize the emotions, and sometimes I think of the emotions like a stormy sea, and you can be being tossed around and pulled around by these tidal waves of emotions. So if you can learn to meditate, if you can learn to center, then it places you above those emotional pulls. That's not to say you ignore them or discount them, but it puts you in a place of seniority over your emotions. So we call this place in the center of the head the seat of the soul. It's the place where you, the spiritual being, were meant to sit in your physical body. So try it. Try placing your consciousness in the center of your head and sit with that. And enter a state of stillness. Enter that place of just purely being present, without thought, without urges, just pure being. Many people, when they do this technique, they experience themselves as a bright spark of light. And if that happens when you're doing this, what you're seeing when you see that bright spark of light is you. You are light. You are light. Pure light. Eternal, everlasting light. Love. You're part of God. And this point in the center of your head is a place where you can access that pure presence of being, that stillness that is you. So that's the theme for today, stillness.
I have actually, I'm going to break from routine. I'm going to give you an early question.
Sure.
Okay, and this is from one of our Wednesday coffee meetings that we do. And it is, no name, by the way. Do you have any specific or non-specific ideas for trying to clear your head while trying to meditate? And she goes on to say, beginners she's having trouble employing her mind. Or not employing her mind, and grounding only seems to work with other people guiding me, or in a group.
Okay, so she wants to know tips for clearing your head, and she says, while trying to meditate. Having trouble emptying my mind. Okay. So, and unfortunately, she says grounding only works with other people guiding her. So I have a few tips for clearing your head. I mean, grounding would be my number one tip, because what you can do is you can create that flow of energy that goes from near the base of the spine to the center of the earth. And that enables you to be able to release absolutely anything you want from your reality. So if you have, your head is not clear, then you can just imagine that cloudiness is just floating down your grounding. So that's tip number one, and it really does work. And I'll take a look at what's happening to this woman. Actually, I'll take a look clairvoyantly at what's happening and why she doesn't seem to feel that she can ground when she's on her own. So give me a moment. It actually looks like you're not grounding or centering. And what's happening when you meditate or try to meditate on your own, it's almost like you go into a little sort of it looks like a little kind of fantasy land, and so you go sort of drifting off into nowhere, and so I would say you want to place your consciousness in the center of your head, like we've just been talking about, rather than it looks like, well, it's kind of interesting because it looks like your energy is in the front of your brain, but it, rather than you having like lots of worry thoughts, it just looks like sort of idle fantasies and daydreams. So be in the center of your head and practice being there, and use the grounding to help you to be there, and just release any obstacles down your grounding. And there are other techniques that you can use to clear out disturbances. I don't have really the capacity to teach them on the show this evening, but you're welcome to email me at info@drlesleyphillips.com if you want some other tips for clearing your head. So we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back taking phone calls and emails. Hello everyone, welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. That's me. And this evening we've been talking about stillness, about being as opposed to doing, because we're always rushing around doing stuff and often quite unbalanced in terms of just that time to turn within, connect with yourself, connect with God, and just simply be still and know yourself as the high vibration spiritual consciousness that you are. And now it's the time in the show where we take your calls, and we would love to hear your voice live on air, and we would love to answer your questions. In the meantime, we'll see if we have any people who've written questions in via email.
And we sure do. This one's from Annette. And Annette would like to know, what wisdom do I need most at this time in my life?
Okay. Great question. Let's take a look for Annette. And I'm just going to tune in. I'm going to tune in to Annette, and if you're listening for the first time, I just go into a very light trance. And that enables me to look at the energy of the person who is asking the question. So I'm going to take a look at Annette, and what wisdom does she need to know right now? Well, first, what I want to say is that your love, your light, your everything that you'll ever be right now. It looks like you have a little bit of a separation between your concept of who you are and who you are. And so it looks like you're constantly seeking to improve yourself, or be a better person, or be a, inverted commas, more spiritual person, or be more connected, or be more in alignment. And I'm seeing that it's precisely that self-questioning that puts you out of alignment, or that stops you being certain of who you are. And so I would say, just let go of any notions that you believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, love yourself, and know that you have everything that you need right here, right now. So that's what I would say for Annette. So the other email question that I have is from a lady called Maya, and she says, will the artist in me return? Will the artist in me return? So I'm going to take a look at that question, and so bear with me. Well, I would say, Maya, that the artist in you never left, actually. And I would just say, if you listen to the beginning of the show, something that will help you out is to really ground so that you bring more of your consciousness into your body. I'm just seeing that that's really all that's necessary. So there's a lady, let's call her W, and she wants to know which career path is going to lead her to success, fulfillment, and happiness. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at that. And give me a moment. So she wants to know what career path is going to lead her to success, fulfillment, and happiness. And the first thing I want to say to you is the thing that will lead you to success, fulfillment, and happiness is you, because it really comes from inside of you as opposed to from an external thing. So I'm seeing that one of the things that you're doing is looking outside of yourself rather than inside yourself. If you look inside yourself, you can identify if there's any pain, doubt, fear, and you can release it. And also, if you do this thing of turning within and connecting with yourself, then your own answers will become clear to you. Anyway, having said that, let me just take a look and see if I can see any particular thing coming up about your affinities this lifetime. Well, one of the things that I'm seeing is it looks like you're fairly creative. You're good with your hands, and so what's coming up is something that would be artistic, some way of expressing your artistic tendencies. And it looks like it could be something like painting or just making things beautiful is kind of what I'm seeing for you, W. It looks like a good career path. Okay, well, I hope that you found that helpful. I am going to look at... There's another question, and a lady's asking about a romantic relationship she's in and whether it is for her highest and greatest good, and whether it is supportive for her on her soul's mission. Should she have this be a friendship or an actual romantic relationship? And we'll call this lady R. So I'm going to take a look and see what comes up. So bear with me. Well, one of the things that I'm seeing is that you're quite serious about your spirituality. And it's sort of like, oh, I'm committed to this, and, you know, I don't want anything else I do to sort of throw me off of that. And but I'm seeing that what that does is it kind of stops you having a bit of fun. And this relationship to me looks like fun. This man looks like fun. It looks like it could be fun for you to just, let it go and just have fun and not worry about the outcome and not worry about, being taken off your path. Because here's the thing, if you're having fun, you're definitely on your path. That if you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself, that's a sign that you're on your path. And I'm seeing what you have a tendency to do is just get so serious about things that the seriousness itself lowers your frequency, and it's more that pulls you off your path than being in a fun romantic relationship with a man. So I hope that helps you.
Okay, the question's from Carol. Carol was laying in bed on Sunday, and like in a conscious state, yet feeling the bed and stuff like that. And she wasn't asleep, but she wasn't quite awake either. And she just went into a state where everything was black, and an interesting energy came up. And that's her on the line again.
Oh, okay. and she wants to know what the interesting energy was. Okay, I'll look at Corys' notes. Okay, it was an interesting energy came up. Sure, Carol. Well, I'm going to take a look and see what we can tell you about your experience. And that time, folks, when you're just dropping off to sleep, or when you are just waking up, can be a great time to tune in intuitively, because the intellect is disengaged at those times. So people often have unusual experiences at that time when they're dozing off or just waking up. So I'm going to tune in and take a look. So bear with me while I do that. And Corey didn't really finish explaining what the unusual energy that you experienced was, but I'll see if I can see what was happening to you. What I'm seeing is that you were in your astral body. I'm seeing, it looks to me like when you had this experience, you were actually in your astral body, and you weren't in your physical body. So you'd been... perhaps you'd been asleep, or and so what I'm seeing is that the astral body was sort of had left the physical body and was floating above the physical body, and that you were having some kind of experience. And when I look at the astral body in this state, it looks really super energized, actually. And yeah, without you on the phone to talk to you and get a bit more details about it, that's really what I'm seeing, is that what you experienced was an out-of-body experience. Your astral body had disconnected from your physical body, and the sensation of floating that you were experiencing was because your astral body had left your physical body. And that... let's just see. Yeah, and so if there was more that you meant to tell me about this unusual energy you experienced, all I can say is that you were experiencing it from your astral body and from that perspective of consciousness. So I hope that helps you, Carol.
Hello, we have Carol on the line for you here.
Oh, we do. I don't know whether you were able to hear my answer.
Actually, I couldn't. Sorry, can you repeat it again?
Yeah, sure. And you can give me a bit more information. So,
sure.
What I was saying was
Yes.
that you had an out-of-body experience, that I was seeing that that you left your body, so that the sensation of floating was because your astral body separated from your physical body, and you were experiencing being in your astral body. And the other thing, and Corey had mentioned that you'd experienced a strange energy, and I'm not too sure whether there was more information, but I was just seeing that the astral body looked really energized at the point that you were.
Yeah, the energy, it was more like a warmth all over my body. Well, maybe not my body, but like I felt like everywhere was like warm and energetic, and I felt like I was floating, but again, I couldn't see anything. It was like pitch black, so I wasn't sure, again, if it's in my head or actually I was feeling something different. This is kind of the first time.
Yeah.
Well, that I remember, anyways, like consciously, that I felt I was not in my body.
Okay, so I hope everyone on there felt that, heard that. But what Carol was saying was, she felt energized, and except it was pitch blackness, and it's the first time that she'd experienced that. So let me take a look at the aspect of pitch blackness. Yeah, I'm not too sure why there was pitch blackness, because what I'm actually seeing when I look at your astral body is it's like bright light, and it's like full of light and full of energy. So let's just see. Give me a moment.
Okay.
I'm not getting any information about why you were experiencing blackness. The only place that I see the blackness is when I look at your physical body. So I don't know, maybe part of your consciousness was still in your physical body, and part of your consciousness was in your astral body. The part of your consciousness was in your physical body, perhaps your eyes were closed and it was just blackness, and then the other part of your consciousness was in your astral body and was experiencing this energetic high frequency and the floating sensation.
Right. Okay. So that's probably the explanation behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great experience. So how did you feel while it was happening?
It was a little bit scary, because I like in my mind I felt like I was floating, but I wasn't sure, because I never felt this before. And then at the same time I thought I would see something, but again, I know consciously I was like on my bed, so maybe that's why I still just saw blackness, like I was just in the dark. So I don't know, is there anything to go beyond that, like actually see anything, or should I expect anything?
Yeah, totally, you can. So, if that happens again, what you can do is, so basically you control the astral body through your thoughts. So have the intention for basically what you want to happen next. So if you have so for example, you could decide that you wanted to experience being on a lovely sunny beach. And the astral body instantly responds and would do that, and you can have the intention that you see the inside of your room. And so, or whatever it is, whatever you want to do and wherever you want to go. But basically the trick is energy follows thought. So wherever you intend to be, whatever you intend to do, that's what happens. And so we all astrally project, and we all do it unconsciously. We call it dreaming, right? But what you're experiencing is the opportunity to consciously direct your astral experience, which is fantastic, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
And nothing to be afraid of. Because if you want to come back to your body, you just have to intend that you're going back to your body.
Right. Okay. Got it.
How about we do this one from Maya? And Maya says, how do I free my grandson from his present situation?
Okay, and that will be the last question because we've only got about 6 minutes left. So, but I'll do that last question for Maya, and then we'll say goodbye until next week. So here we go. And what was it? What's the best thing that she can do to help him?
Yeah, to help free her grandson from his present situation.
Okay. Well, let me see. That's a different. I can see that this is a big concern for this lady. This situation that her grandson is in, and I know who this is, and I know what the situation is. But so give me a moment. Well, number one is ask God. Ask for help. Ask for help from the angelic beings and from God to help with this situation. And I'm seeing from a physical reality standpoint, it's a difficult situation because you're dealing with authorities and you're dealing with red tape and you're dealing with bureaucracy. And so it seems to me that finding some allies, finding some people who either are on the inside of the system or know the system better than you do or have had experiences with the system in a similar way to what you're wanting to do, who can give you the benefit of their wisdom. And so practically it's finding other people, other individuals, other groups who can help you figure out how to do this in terms of the steps that you need to take on a physical reality level. And then spiritually, asking the universe for what you want and asking your angels and guides to help you. And you can talk to people as spirit as well. So just talking to your grandson, telling him how much you love him, and it really looks like he's so connected to you and he really loves you and he wants to be with you. And and so you can talk to the individuals that that are involved in this. You can talk to them as spirit, and explain to them that you want to provide a loving home to your grandson and that he will be safe and secure with you, and that really is and that you have this strong connection and that he wants to be with you too. And just on a spiritual level, communicate with the individuals that are involved. On a physical reality level, they might be fairly unconscious. They might not even know that they're open to that kind of thing. On a spiritual level, they will hear you. They will hear what you are saying, and it will have an impact. And it might make them think a little differently about this situation. It might make them make some different choices. And so we're not talking about, when we speak as spirit to somebody, forcing them or trying to control them, but just explaining, like you would have a conversation with what you would say to them if you could talk to them one-on-one, without feeling to play politics or hold back, just what you would say in a very heartfelt way. So that's what I'm seeing that you can do. And I'm seeing that, you are doing a lot and you're doing all that you can. And, if you do these things, it looks like it might make your body feel a bit better and make you feel a bit better about yourself. And, yeah. I would just encourage you to keep going as well, because both you and your grandson want this, and it's very clear. And of course, the universe operates on the power of intention and desire. And so, don't give up and don't give in to thoughts that say that it can't be done or you can't do it. Okay, completely believe in yourself and your ability to free your grandson. So I'm going to leave that there, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips. For more information, go to our website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesleyphillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.